What is up, guys? Mcdoubles back again with a brand new video. Today I've got the Cultist.
We're going to talk to you about the most urgent thing that is on our mind, and what we suspect is the most urgent thing on the minds of those who will connect with us. We'll title this tape
The Cultist. That plays around the whole Twilight cultist theme that you may have seen in different expansions like Cataclysm, for example. So I hope you guys enjoy. It's going to be a load of fun. I've seen some crazy things from other people playing the Cultist, but without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so right off the bat, I haven't looked at the tooltips or anything yet, but I'm seeing some pretty crazy cool looking stuff. I've got two trees so far, Godblade and Influence, man. And we've even got some general abilities, which is this first one we'll look at called Realign Self. 40-second cooldown channeled ability. You begin to meditate, draining your insanity, okay, and regenerating 20% of your base mana over 10 seconds. Can only be used outside of combat. What does it look like? I was like evocation, but like a little somehow more sinister, right? It's just like, look at what's on the hands. That's really, really cool. Okay, I'm actually a big fan of this. I'm curious when I'm going to get what is essentially going to be my insanity bar. Okay, what else? Okay, Twilight's Hammer, see, exactly like I thought, increases the spell power of your shadow damage spells by 30% of your strength. This is a hybrid? And your attack power by 20% of your intellect? It also increases your block rating by 30% of your intellect. So you can tank, but more importantly, 30% of your strength and 20% of your attack power converted into what would have been the opposite version of those stats. Those spell power and attack power respectively. That is absolutely bonkers. I knew it was going to be interesting. I didn't know if it was a mistake that I started with a 2H sword and no other weapons, but apparently it's not. I am melee to some varying degree. Possibly entirely melee, I'm not sure yet. Let's keep on looking. So in Godblade, I have Blade of N'Zoth. So looking at the old gods here, that's quite cool. 6-second cooldown melee range, instant cast ability that requires 2 void runes. It imbues my weapon with the dark power of N'Zoth before striking the target, dealing 19 to 25 shadow damage. That's a lot for level 1. Has a chance to summon a tentacle of N'Zoth. That's really cool. And it generates 5 insanity plus an additional 10 if a tentacle is summoned. Okay, so I don't know what the percentage chance is on the summon of the tentacle. I think that should be in the tooltip personally for anything like that because it allows people to be better. But I am curious how that's going to play, so we'll check that out in a moment. We also have Eldritch Strike. I think that's how you say it. 3-second cooldown melee ability deals 100% weapon damage to an enemy target as shadow damage and restores mana to you based on your strength. Okay, so I was wrong. I immediately put my primary stat as intellect. It looks like it's going to be strength straight up. Everything just seems to scale well off it. Yeah, but back to the ability. So, okay, 100% weapon damage to an enemy target as shadow damage, restores mana to me based on my strength, generates a void rune. So, okay, Eldritch Strike is how I generate the void rune, and Blade of N'Zoth is so far what I'm spending them on. Okay, what about in the influence tree? We have Eldritch Mending. Heal a friendly target for 16 to 21 on a 2-second cast time. Heal a friendly target for 16 to 21 and reduce my insanity by 3. Okay, and I guess the idea is that if you get your insanity too high, something really bad happens. Okay, I'm actually very, very, very curious as to what that bad thing is. Let's go ahead and test these melee abilities, man. And by the way, this is Eldritch Mending. Oh, wow. What a hell of a freaking animation. I'm actually a big fan of that. Okay, I'm actually incredibly intrigued right now because I thought the Cultist was going to be another caster. I think we all thought the Cultist was just going to be a caster, right? And by lieu of that, I thought it was just going to be a Shadow Priest. And I know I've been wrong a lot of these times, and that's why I say it so lightheartedly. It's like I thought it was going to be a Death Knight. I thought it was going to be a Warrior. And that's because I have low expectations. Because if you temper your expectations, you're less likely to be hurt in the end. But we keep getting happy, right? We keep getting proven wrong, and that these are not just custom classes, but they're truly custom, and that they're actually trying to do something from scratch. Well, anyway, guys, enough of my talk. What is Eldritch Strike? There it is. Okay. My little, void runes, so to speak. Let's try it again. Oh, interesting. So I smack him with a Sinister Strike type effect, but there's extra little animations as well. And they even animated the Void Rune Acquisition, which is incredibly good and very well done. Right above my head, you can see I have a rune. Okay, but what about Blade of N'Zoth? Oh my god, and there's my insanity bar. This is going to be kind of complex. I have 2 resources on top of mana, but it's not Chronomancer complex so far from what I can see. Oh, it's like a truck! But yeah, resource management is not really that deep compared to what we saw with the Chronomancer. But anyway, I want to see more of this stuff. So I'm attacking. It has a cooldown, right? So you are gated by cooldowns, and that's a balance factor. I like that it's not entirely spammable. So I want to spam that, and then I want to... Let's go ahead and use this N'Zoth blade on a completely different guy. Want to see it again. Oh my goodness, man. It just hits like a truck and summons a tentacle. It obviously has a high chance to summon it because I've only used the ability 4 times, and 2 of the times, maybe it's a 50% chance, it summoned a tentacle. I have to guess on it right now. I would like to see the percentage just put in the tooltip because I think transparency is just what gamers want nowadays. But yeah, that is sick. Okay, guys, let's keep leveling. I'm actually super excited about this guy. And yeah, let's see what the cultist has in store for us. Okay, brand new ability just got level 4. I was actually trying to max my insanity out, but at the current time, it's not really possible, it seems. Watch, like, as I attack, the only thing that builds insanity, it's not even really, like, going up at all. So I just got this brand new ability and another tree called Corruption. So I'm Corruption, Godblade, and Influence, man. Bend Will. You bend the target humanoid, demon, or undead's mind to the will of the old gods. If used against an NPC, the target will be bent to your control for the next 30 minutes. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, something's wrong with the coding of this one. I know it worked in earlier videos I did. That's the weirdest part. It has a massively long cooldown, by the way. Anyway, it is alpha. Let's keep reading. If used against a player, this effect has no delay, but a significantly reduced duration. The unit charmed by this ability works as a primary pet, and therefore does not function in conjunction with other primary pets. Oh, this does not include tentacles. Very, very nice. That is a really cool ability. Bit of a shame that it's kind of buggy right now, because I know people have used it in prior videos and it worked fine. Must have been something that broke it. I don't know what. But hey, the fact that I get that at level 4, yeah, the flavor is at an all-time high right now. The cultist feels really, really cool. Okay, I'm in Durotar. We're going to go all the way down to Razor Hill, finish out level 10, move on to the Barrens, and keep on leveling. Queue for BGs, dungeons, the whole 9 yards. Of course, taking this guy all the way to 30, guys. But I did just get a brand new ability, and it's one that I didn't expect because typically these types of abilities on Conquest of Azeroth have come a little bit later in the leveling journey, I guess you could say, but I got this one at level 7, and that is Psychic Mockery. It's a Godblade ability, so Psychic Mockery, 8-second cooldown, instant cast, taunts the target to attack you. If the target is not already attacking you, they also suffer what is designated as a large amount of shadow damage, but it also generates 1 Void Rune. So what I'm getting from this right off the bat is that yes, it's a taunt, but if you're in PvP, you want to use this every single time on cooldown anyway, unless they lied about it being a large amount of damage. This happens a lot, by the way, in games. They'll say something is large and then it does nothing, but we'll see. As soon as I get some of these quests up here, we'll attack some mobs, try the ability out, and see if it's truly large. Guys, I actually just got something at level 8. Okay, so first of all, let me amend what I'm saying about Psychic Mockery. You want to use it in PvP at the beginning of every fight, assuming it works the way it does on players, that it works on NPCs, which again, if they're not already attacking you, they suffer a large amount of damage. So this guy's attacking me, he would suffer nothing, but this guy over here, okay, about 1/3 of their health. That's not bad. Now, I just got a brand new ability called Blade of Yasharj. I'm just going to use it. Really? Did I just one-shot the mob? Well, the sailor was already kind of hurt, but it would have one-shot them. They only have 120 health. Okay. We're looking at a instant cast 6-second cooldown, so all of my melee strikes are cooldown based. And they're all, interestingly enough, by a base of 3, right? So 3 seconds, 6 seconds. So theoretically, the way that you use these, let's say you could always have something coming off cooldown at the end of your rotation. And so it would be very smooth if it's designed right. So that's something that I'm seeing right off the bat. But back to this, right? I imbued my weapon just now with the dark power of Yasharj, man. Yes, all the old gods. And then I did that obviously before striking my target for 250% weapon damage. And I reduce all damage I take by 10%, but it generates 15 insanity. And this, my friends, is the highest insanity generator that I have found so far. Okay, so this is a really big deal. I want to use it one more time. I can pull you, do some damage, and boom! Interesting. Okay, I'm at 12% insanity. I really want to go mad. I want to see what that means. Now, it's important to keep in mind that I currently have to choose, by the way, between Blade of N'Zoth or Blade of Yasharj. So actually, based on that alone, it might not even be possible level yet to reliably go insane. So watch, as I use one, the other one goes on cooldown as well. So if I summon the tentacle, it looks like it lasts long enough to where I could reliably just get off the blade. Blade is also more burst damage, right? Look at that shit. The Blade of N'Zoth is obviously going to be better, like, long-term, summoning those tentacles. But again, the Yasharj hits like a truck and reduces the damage I take. Anyway, let's get back to actually just playing it. Just some conjecture, just some thought. It's very interesting the way this works. I guess part of my confusion comes from the fact that neither of them strike me as, you know, I would want this for PvE and that for PvP. I kept trying to rationalize it, but Blade of Yasharj, to me, just looks better every single time. You know, every time. I know the tentacle is good, but again, if I don't summon a tentacle, what happens then? That's what my brain says. That's when I look at 26 to 32 shadow damage versus 250% weapon damage, which is like 10 times stronger, okay, than what I'm seeing right here. And then I think, I don't know. Again, we'll have to keep playing and find out, but what a really cool way to start, right? Two, like, extremely cool abilities that I'm smacking my opponent with, man, and doing cool things with, and it's melee. It's magical melee. I love magical melee, man. It's just such a good middle ground. Level 9, by the way, leveling pretty fast. That's one quest. Okay, so close to level 10. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this in and get level 10. We might get something at that level. We may not, but we're gonna start going fast, seeing what we get, and using it in some very serious ways. Battlegrounds, dungeons, etc. Okay, level 10, and I see a new ability, Gaze of Cthulhu. This might also be the same type of thing as my Blade of Yasharj and Blade of N'Zoth. 6-second cooldown. Blast an enemy target with the power of the old god Cthulhu. 25-yard range, by the way. It deals 24 to 28 shadow damage and generates 6% of my max mana. Damage dealt increased by 1% for each stack of insanity. If I'm above 60% insanity when I cast this spell, I instantly lose 20% of my insanity. So we have another insanity dump. Okay, that's very interesting. Now, this does not require void runes. I can just use this, right, from afar. So that's really good. I can't wait to use that. We'll go test it in a second. So I'm on my way to test that new ability, and I do just want to point out that I can use up to mail armor with the cultist, which is a very fascinating concept as well. I'm a cultist in full mail armor, chain mail looking stuff with a sword, and that is interesting as hell and just cool. But yeah, this is the ability. Damn, that's like... Oh, that's absurd. Whatever the hell this is. And I could just keep using it. And it does more damage if I'm crazier, which is just what I've always wanted. You would never not use this. It's just like, why wouldn't you use this? Maybe if you needed more insanity, you wouldn't want to use it because it dumps your insanity at a certain point. But other than that, it's just awesome. Okay, I'm going to be queuing BGs. At the lower levels, it's not going to be as impactful because I'm going to be on the bottom of the bracket. So we're just going to go for those abilities. But as we level higher and higher, and we are able to acquire some better gear, we'll get into some actual fighting and see how the class performs. Okay, guys, so we're getting there. I'm level 15, and I got some pretty cool abilities. Well, one of which is really cool, the other of which is a tank ability. So first of all, I got Twilight Zealotry, increasing all threat generated by my shadow damage effects by 60%. So that's my way to, you know, pop it like a defensive stance or a Righteous Fury and hold aggro just by playing the character. But for me, more importantly, I got Empire's Grasp. 40-yard range, 40-second cooldown. Get this. Instantly teleports an enemy target to my position. Now, it also taunts them and also slows their movement speed by 40% for 8 whole seconds. Targets immune to sound effects cannot be targeted by this ability. Okay, so bosses and stuff. Gotcha. It's absolutely crazy. Watch. He's right in front of me. Like, that's just awesome. Now, I've got a pretty okay weapon on right now, so I can do some kind of damage. It looks like actually using Blade of N'Zoth is really, really good on some of these, you know, harder to kill targets like this guy. Okay, I'm level 16. We're in an Aranthi basin, and I just got a brand new ability. It's called Horror Bolt. 1 second cast, requires a void rune, does 32 to 37 shadow damage to an enemy target, and this spell can be cast while moving, and it generates 5 insanity. Ultimately, I guess what that is a way to go caster mode, because I don't see why I would ever want to use it outside of being a caster. So that's interesting. All right, let's see if we can beat this guy. Starcaller, I can teleport her to me and just start doing damage. I see a charge right there for the 90. Oh, so I can cast it while moving here. Okay, if I have nothing else to do, I can Horror Bolt. Okay. Wow, we actually pulled off the 5 cap, I think. This is sick. This class has performed way different than I initially thought it would. Okay, we have a demon hunter right here. Teleport you to me. Oh, he jumped away. 100 on my just normal filler. That's pretty good. Okay, yeah. Well, they recapped stables, but I think this is GG. And there we go, and that's level 18 off that. Okay, and I got a res spell. Awakening just simply brings a dead player back to life. 5-second cast, 10-second cooldown, 10-yard range. Really weird, but hey, I'm glad that they're all at least unique, right? I'll take it. It just worked on this player, Bend Will. He was just like there. He was CC'd. I'm gonna die because I was so excited from that. No. Maybe I can get in here? Just barely. He has to be so mad. Watch us turn on him. I'm gonna go for the tentacle here. Let's confuse him. All right, he's like, what the hell just happened? What is this guy capable of? Yasarj actually hit for less than I was expecting compared to N'Zoth. That's very interesting. N'Zoth just feels like it's hitting for more every time. So that's very important to keep in mind. I did not expect that, especially on a Clothy, right? Like you would think 250% weapon damage. I mean, that's 300 damage sometimes, right? Like 250 to 300 with my weapon. Well, more like 220 to 300. It depends, but like Blade in N'Zoth just says 40 to 48, but it's better. Okay. See? Holy crap, that was N'Zoth. Okay, so I've got the flag right now. I'm trying to pull a Hail Mary in the last 3 minutes of this BG and win it for my team. But I just got a brand new ability I thought we could talk about along the way because I'm actually going to try tanking as a direct result of it. I think this is going to be one of the easiest tank classes, which inherently means it's going to be the most fun tank class because the easier a tank class is, the less stress you have, and therefore the more fun you're just innately going to have. This is what I got. Oh, God. I just got Twilight Shield Toss, which, before I even read this, I just want to tell you, is just a shadow version of Avengers Shield from Paladin Prop Pallies, right? Okay, so I hurl a Curse Shield at an enemy, doing 23 to 30 shadow damage. I'm level 20, by the way, and I have this. And reducing their movement speed by 50% for 5 seconds. It also bounces up to 3 additional enemies, but the difference here is that this will actually taunt every enemy hit, once again, on a 20-second cooldown. And it also generates a huge amount of threat. Now, another really cool ability I just got is actually Tentacle of N'Zoth, and it allows me to place a tentacle down, as you can see by this right here, and everybody in a 30-yard range, I believe, is going to be slowed by 50%. The tooltip reads, summon a Tentacle of N'Zoth at the target location that will deal shadow damage to your enemies for 24 seconds. When summoned, the tentacle will slow the movement speed of all enemies within 30 yards by 50%, and it generates 10 insanity. So far, this is looking really sick. I don't know if we'll win this BG, but we'll get level 21 regardless, and then I'm just gonna pop, I'll just do it now, Twilight Zealotry, grab a shield, grab a 1H, and we're gonna tank, guys. Oh, we did win. I guess we were the last cap. I didn't even realize. I'll take it. Level 22 off that, guys. And I got a brand new spell called Whisper. Well, that's ominous. Okay, it's under influence. Instantly heals a friendly target for 83 to 94, but then reduces all magical healing they take by 20%. It generates 20 insanity. That's really cool. It's flavorful because the old gods whisper at you, right? And they do it in multiple different old gods themed dungeons. It's really, really sick. It's part of the lore. Oh, and that's a nice animation too. But it's only for a short time, actually, that you're reduced in this way. 4 seconds is not that bad. And it's going to be a big heal, a 131 right there. That's way stronger than Eldritch Mending, which also has a cast time, by the way. Okay, let's grab a sword and shield and start tanking. I'm really excited. Let's go ahead and grab all these skill ups. Yeah, I'm super excited to try Twilight Shield Toss and my Psychic Mockery and the Gaze of Cthulhu, all to hold threat, all while doing massive damage and summoning tentacles, man. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, I'm really excited. I played a little bit on our way into this Dead Mines, and it's really sick, guys. This is really cool. You might even consider playing this as a DPS class because currently there is absolutely no penalty. You do 5% less damage versus players with a shield, but that's it. I mean, watch this. Are you ready? Okay, this is it. Twilight Shield Toss. That's so sick. Okay, watch on multiple targets. That's massive damage. Okay, so apparently my Blade of Yasharj hits more than one target. Doesn't say it in the tooltip. Look at that. I'm in first place damage. Oh, I was for a split second there. That's pretty interesting, actually. Psychic Mockery to get it back on me. Not bad. This guy's so good. All right, watch multiple targets. Look at it bouncing. Okay, see, that just hit one target. Everything just runs past me. Now watch the next one. See how it did multiple bits of damage? So to hold aggro, I want to use Blade of Yasharj. So that's a big thing. It does reduce my damage taken, so it must have been meant for tanking. Yeah, look at that. And we do that as well. Grab the extra aggro. Super fluid. Just make sure we don't cap on insanity. I'm actually curious. Oh, look at all that extra damage. It does it to everything. I kind of want to cap on insanity and see what happens. Look at that. Such good damage. Oh, it happened. I died! I couldn't control my character and I died. That's so bizarre. Okay, yeah, you definitely don't want to go mad. All right, multiple goblins. Let's go. Oh my god, perma-stunned. Get aggro with that. And then grab aggro again with that. Get that one in the back. Okay. Another tentacle maybe. Heal myself a bit. Okay, that guy wasn't on me, but that gives me aggro back too. I mean, you have to remember, everybody has inflated damage on this team. I have a Reaper. I have 2 Reapers, actually, and a Chronomancer. So this is pretty intense stuff right now. Okay, I can teleport that guy back to me, summon a tentacle. We'll get aggro back in a split second. I was stunned. There we go. Okay. I need to get rid of some of this insanity. Right there. Uh-oh. Okay. We have so many problems holding aggro. So many problems against these it's not the class. It's just because damage numbers are crazy for Reapers right now. But yeah, the class plays phenomenally, and it's really fun. It's actually really fun as a tank. Who would have thought, man? I did not go into Cultist thinking tank and melee DPS were going to be my main ways to play, you know, and also fun. Oh my god, the perma-stuns and dead mines though, dude. Okay, we are back at it again, losing aggro with the perma-stun. There you go, see that shield? And I can do this and get all of that aggro. Pop another void tentacle. Very, very nice, more AoE. Oh no! I think I went insane again. And I just died insta because I was already so low. Dude, you really gotta watch that insanity bar. It builds up way faster than you would ever think. I really need to be dumping it with Gaze of Cthulhu more. I'm drunk with power, man. It's just so fun just using these uber powerful abilities. Interesting. A brand new ability called Edict of Gluttony. Curse an enemy for 1 minute. 1 second cast, 10-second cooldown. Allies that deal damage to the cursed target have a chance to be healed. Very interesting. You'd always want to use this on a boss. We are literally 3-manning dead mines right now because one of the dudes just like DC'd. And it's actually going pretty well. Edict of Gluttony is probably way better just simply on boss fights or maybe even in PvP. On these multi-target fights, it's a little less relevant. But I could do it like that to pull and then just go in. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, Edwin Van Cleef. Wow. Good on that Chronomancer. Just wow. It just barely survived. And we did it. Okay, we're level 29 and I've been leveling for a bit. We got a brand new ability and it's really, really cool. It's called Eldritch Armor. So this is a pretty hefty mana cost, right? 172 mana, 10-second cooldown instant cast. I apply a shield to a target, doesn't have to just be me, absorbing up to 328 to 345 damage with a 30-second duration. Now, while the shield holds, the target will also be healed for 35 to 42 every 3 seconds. So that's really, really interesting. You can bubble yourself in your half, and as long as the bubble lasts, you'll get a little bit of extra heals as well. But at the bare minimum, and you can see it right here, it's just a bunch of damage negated, which is just great. That's a defensive cooldown that I'm definitely wanting with the Cultist so far, and definitely needed, and I think it's really going to pay off. So let's go ahead and see how the build does. It's basically done, unless I get something at 30 as well, and yeah, we'll definitely see if I do. But yeah, I'm curious how it's going to perform. Okay, and with that BG, we got to level 30, and we got a brand new ability, believe it or not, called Vision of Doom. Okay, I haven't read this yet. 107 mana, 10-minute cooldown, instant cast. Peer into the endless void, transforming you into a faceless destroyer for 30 seconds. While transformed, you deal 40% increased damage, take 20% reduced damage, and every 3 seconds, I generate 10 insanity and summon a tentacle of N'Zoth nearby. In addition, all nearby enemies within 100 yards of me will gain a stack of madness, slowing their movement speed by 5%. Wow, for 10 whole seconds. Madness stacks up to 10 times. Enemies afflicted by madness take 30% increased damage from Gaze of Cthulhu for every stack. Wow. Okay, so we've got to look at it. Oh my god! What the hell is this? Oh my god. I can't believe this is just an ability I can use. Guys, imagine a League of Legends style World of Warcraft. That is what this is becoming. You know, you pick your classes. God, what if they were to go to that one, like, Vanilla Plus server that wanted to do a MOBA type map? I mean, they don't have to. They could just prioritize rated BGs, and that would be really cool. You know, solo queuing into rated BGs. That would be really, really sick, actually. Or even better, solo queue 5v5 arena. Ho ho! That would be something. And then this guy could be like a tank in some ways, right? You rush in there. I don't know. It's going to be so cool. So what are my final thoughts on the Cultist? Well, first and foremost, I think it's one of the most balanced of all the classes I've played. It is strong, but not so strong that I'm one-shotting people like some of the overtuned stuff right now. It has very unique concepts, all of which seem to work, and it is inherently extremely custom. It's just super custom. It's something you've never seen before as a playable class in World of Warcraft, obviously, and I like that. It's not Shadow Priest, and that's a big plus because I thought it was going to be very similar to Shadow Priest. It's literally not even close. And it's melee, which nobody expected, and a tank, right? And a sword and shield tank at that, and mail armor. I'm gonna go ahead and just say, Cultist is absolutely awesome. It's one of those classes that, you know, once they bring the power level of everything up to par, right, so to speak, so that everything is more equal, the Cultist will be at the top because it's just powerful innately. And unless some of the other weaker classes get some crazy stuff past 30 that I'm not thinking about, and you have to remember, they're gonna have to tone down how often we get abilities at some point, right? Because otherwise every class is gonna have a 40 button, you know, spell book. So you have to be left wondering if the Cultist just inherently is gonna end up being one of the top classes, at least top 5. It has so much, right? It has self-healing, it can tank, it can DPS, it has burst, it has sustain, it even has damage cooldowns in Eldritch Armor now, right? So yeah, solid A+ class right here. Really, really good, and easily one of the most flavorful classes that we've covered so far, for sure. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and do the giveaway from the last video. I've already got the link in, already got the comments going. Let's go ahead and start and see who wins access to the alpha on me. Skander Nasri, who says they love the video. That's the Chronomancer video. Thank you very much, my friend. And their name in game is Gincax. Okay, man, congratulations. I'll send you your alpha access. But okay, guys, that's gonna be the end of this episode. If you guys enjoyed the Cultist, make sure to give this video a like and a subscribe, but I will see you guys in the next video. Mcdoubles out.